And with that, we shall wrap up today's lesson. The teacher closed the book, resting on her desk. Students claimed by noble families, please proceed to your next class. Everyone else, gather your belongings. A wave of movement immediately swept through the classroom as children began packing away their books and supplies. School is ending early today due to the festival, the teacher added. That announcement earned far more excitement than any lesson could have. Chairs scraped against the floor. Conversations sparked between classmates. Several students hurried to finish packing, already discussing what they planned to see once they reached the village streets. Only 2 or 3 students groaned. Great! Everyone gets to go enjoy the festival, except us. Their complaints were immediately met with laughter. Oh, poor you. Yeah. Imagine having to go learn from a noble family instead of eating festival sweets. Tragic. The students around them grinned. Careful, another child teased. You might have to admit you're one of the chosen ones. The complaining students rolled their eyes, but they couldn't hide their smiles. Being claimed by a noble family was a big deal. Everyone knew it. But among friends, it was just another reason to tease each other. Averett slowly gathered his own things, watching the room begin to empty. The festival was one of the few times Hollow Creek felt truly alive. Day and night belonged to different people, but twilight belonged to everyone. Averett slung his sack over his shoulder and made his way toward the door. Ahead of him, he spotted Thomas leaning against the wall, waiting. Thomas was easy to recognize among the older students. Unlike Averett's class, which combined 3 different grades together due to the village's limited number of teachers and available classrooms, the 8th grade students had a room entirely to themselves. They called it the special grade class, not because the students were treated better than everyone else, but because they were the only ones in the school who weren't combined with another year. Everyone else shared. The 10, 11, and 12-year-olds learned together. 5th, 6th, and 7th grade all occupied the same classroom. But 8th grade stood alone. It was the final year of schooling in Hollow Creek, and the students in it were considered old enough to begin preparing for whatever came next. Thomas was one of them. Before Averett could reach him, a smaller figure pushed through the crowd. Thomas! Naira slipped between the other students, making a straight line toward her older brother. The charms on her wrist jingled with every step. Thomas looked down at her and smiled. Done already? Obviously, Naira replied, as if the answer should have been obvious. Averett couldn't help but grin. Of course, she was done already. Thomas spotted Averett in the crowd and smiled. Hey, Avi. He pushed away from the wall as the classroom continued to empty around them. Your dad said I'm supposed to bring you home again, Thomas called over the noise of shuffling feet and excited conversations. Is Miss Cassandra joining us again? Yeah, Averett answered without hesitation. He started toward Thomas, already expecting to see the familiar golden-haired girl following behind him. Except she wasn't. Averett slowed. Instead of leaving with the rest of the students, Cassandra had gone in the opposite direction. Straight toward the teacher. He blinked. Of course she did. Averett changed direction slightly, watching as Cassandra approached the desk with the same determined expression she wore whenever she had decided something needed to be said. Thomas noticed too. She's doing it again, isn't she? Averett sighed. Probably. The 2 boys watched as Cassandra began speaking with the teacher, completely unaware, or perhaps completely unconcerned, that everyone else was already leaving.